Hello. I am a West Point mother, and I just wanted to let you know of some important tips if you're looking for some information if your son or daughter want to go to West Point. Here's my son. He graduated 2019, and it's quite an experience. He had his choice between the Naval Academy, where his dad graduated from, or West Point, and they gave him a ticket to fly out there and stay for a week, and he was hooked. He said, I want West Point. West Point is a school that I'm going to. And that's one thing I wanted to make sure of, is that he made up his own mind to do this, because it's all him. It has to come from him. He's going to be the one doing all the sweat, all the work, and come pulling himself through. The the role of the parents is very important. Not only are we supportive, yet we are also giving the love, the nurturing, the advice, and motivation. So, congratulations. It's a very tough thing to do. Uh, I wanted to start off first with the most important things that were to him. His favorite things that I was able to do for him was, after the parents leave and they start to get yelled at and under their demands, they have a few seconds to throw everything from their home suitcase into transfer into their West Point bag, okay, their duffel bag, because almost immediately they'll get fitted for their uniforms and hit the field and then live in the dirt. So, with these few seconds, and I got this information from Facebook. There's a mothers group on there, and you can ask the mothers any questions, and they also post a lot of valuable information that is very helpful too. Okay. There's huge Ziploc bags that you can get, and I put in there wipes so that he can clean himself. Bug spray, huge, very important. Uh, I don't recommend cans. There's some rules to that. Also, like the smaller ones that are lighter, so that when they travel, their backpack's already 200 pounds. So that's something to consider, smaller items. And also, that he was really happy about that tip that I was able to grab from the Facebook West Point moms, because he was able to grab all of his essentials that he needed. And he had enough to share. So that worked out great. They will almost immediately start their hikes, and the whole summer is about their endurance physically and their mental strength. And they're starting to like weed out the people that wholeheartedly in their hearts of heart want to do this, and just let them know to clear their minds, start teaching them ways to um, meditate or pray, or uh, go into a nothing like um, connection with God, or how they can relax their breath, breathe deep, and go with inside. It is going to test them on every level. Okay. So doing our own research as mama bears is really helpful. We'll get tons of tips. There's also a book that a couple of West Point mothers has written. You can purchase that, and there's valuable information in there in the processes. There's also Okay, so for the sports, you go to the sports as parents, they'll want mama bears to have a clear purse. Okay, so either bring one from home or you can purchase one there at the store, at the academy store. They do have metal detectors and, all kinds of souvenirs. And they have souvenirs that you can get your spirit wear at the store, the Academy store, or Amazon. Etsy has a lot of really creative ways. These were buttons off of the coats, and they have brooches, um, some really creative, neat ideas. Pillows that mothers have made out of uniforms, hand painted ornaments, pictures. Um, if your son or daughter live far away from home, we were from Huntington Beach, California, and West Point being in New York. Uh, there was a sponsor. They have sponsor families, and most the academies all have them. And what they are is a volunteer family that wants to take in a cadet or a midshipman or one of the students that are just give them a place to relax and have a hot meal, join in conversations. A lot of the sponsor families are graduates. My son was lucky enough to have two graduates, the father and mother family. She was a stay-at-home mom, though, that lived on the West Point base, and he was a professor there. And he loved it. The family loved him, and we're still friends. She was so nice to him if he needed to go to the post office or anything, that he was just a part of their family. So that's nice to know that he's in good hands. Or she. Especially for 4 years, day in and day out, can kind of be a lot. So um, everything having a rule. Um, so the sponsor families are a huge help. For birthdays, there's nearby businesses that where you can purchase a something that you can send to them just to surprise them and lift their spirits and say happy birthday, thinking of you. Or I learned that he played football the first year, so um, the package of like birthday surprises was like sweets, okay, cake and ice. Well, not ice cream, but candy. And he ended up having to throw it away because he's really strict on his diet. So I just learned that I would just send him his favorites, Welch's gummies, and um, he liked organic granola bars and just whatever. So it's best to just find out what they want and send it that way, and they'll get it. And calls too. And sometimes it's hard to reach them right away because they're doing something, um, or sending a box ahead of time is, I think, best. So preparing before your son or daughter wants to go to an academy. Um, my son went to West Point, so I knew because my brother went to the Naval Academy, and I was a Navy veteran. Excuse me, I am a Navy veteran. I was at the Naval Academy too. Worked in dental and medical, and also I met my first husband there. So I understand a lot about the academies and how they function, and it can be a really awesome experience as long as you know they stay on a routine, and that they're well rounded. The academies are looking for well rounded uh, young men and women. who are, of course, strong at sports, active in the community, fearless leadership, who can relate well with others, and sharp enough to carry out and complete the tasks with safety for all in a timely manner. They don't ask for much. And then keep all their grades up. And when they have to study for an exam, yes, they do have to go to sports. So um, there's a lot of demands and drills and things like that. So time management is very important to help them de-stress and have an idea of what to expect and how to plan accordingly. So a lot of these really bright kids, they also need common sense. So that's a good balance that they look forward to too. Okay. It's not just academic, it's also in practical daily lives and communication skills. If you can work on emotional intelligence with them, and that's leadership and attitude. Number one is attitude. Attitude is everything. There's going to be times when they hate it. There's going to be times when they want to give up. There's going to be times when they love it. There's going to be times that, they'll be tested for everything. And that reminding them that attitude is everything and it's temporary, even though it may suck at times, let them know that it's temporary. Okay. And they'll get through it. So working in medical and dental, yes, there was suicide that happened, and that's something that they don't want to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about. I want to mention it because that's why it's very important to give the motivation and dedication to your kids, letting them know that, helping them take off some of the pressures because some of them kind of don't know how to handle a lot of the pressures, or they don't want to disappoint their parents. Um, so it's really important to talk with them and understand how they're feeling and what they're going through. Letters, letters are huge. Even if you don't hear back from them, sometimes they're not, um, they don't have time. They don't have time to go to the store and get um, a stamp or whatever. And that's another thing to send. Stamps, um, envelopes with their address already on it, and some paper in it. Make it really easy for them, okay? Because they are on a strict schedule, constantly having to be told what to do. And they get more freedoms as they earn it in the higher grades. But at first, it's a lot of just paying attention and doing what you're told. So helping them also, naturally there are babies. There's some helicopter parents that need to give the kids room to grow. Um, I notice sometimes it's more difficult for the kids that have the parents that do everything for them to step up and do that leadership, make their bed, the way they're told to do it, fold their clothes exactly the way they're supposed to do it. I mean, it's paying attention to detail. It, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, like making a big deal about the way you fold your clothes. But the thing is that it's following orders for safety. Because if someone can listen and follow orders and do it right, then everything else is going to be smooth. Like, um, it's dangerous, all the machinery, everything is a missile hazard, something that could take a life. And so that's why it's so valuable to understand paying attention to detail and let it come from them. Don't do it for them. This is like a maturity also that they will be developing rapidly. Um, helping them clear their head. especially when they're tested. They want to be a ranger. My son went to be an Army Ranger, and they were really tested. And it's hard. It's really hard. A lot of them do it more than one time. And letting them know that they can go within and find that peaceful spot. And no matter how much they're yelled at, don't take it personal. It's nothing. They do it to everyone. They're not picking on them. They're trying to see how their maturity level is, and that they can get over themselves and follow orders. It's not going to make them break. So that's it's a lot of heart and soul that it has to come from, and that it's their choice. um, I made sure that it came from him, because I knew that I wasn't going to be there to do it for him. It has to come from his heart and soul. And he made sure, he told me, this is what I want to do. And that and they'll never give up. If it is, it'll come from them. Or if they're really having a hard time and they feel in their hearts of hearts that the academy isn't for them, then it's okay if they want to transfer to a civilian university or another branch of service. There's rules for that. They can do that. That it would mean so much to them to give them their own choice, their own voice. That really helps with their independence and their maturity to understand that they are validated, that it's okay to be themselves, um, and that you still love and support them. That means so much to them. Because, for example, my brother, he went to the Naval Academy, and there was some issues, and he ended up at a board with admirals, and they were giving him a hard time, and he just got to the point that he was like, okay, I want to be a pilot, a Navy pilot, but I can always go to Air Force, and he's a good person. He really is. He has morals, values. He's a great dad. He loves his wife. He's they're a great family. He would never hurt a soul, and that my grandmother was really mad at him, yet my mother and I supported him, and he went to Fresno State and took Air Force. Um, they paid for his college until he graduated in engineering, and then they flew him straight. Then I think he made second lieutenant, and they flew him straight to Oklahoma for flight school, and he was so happy. So it's not always the end of the world. There's lots of other avenues. Okay, there's lots of other avenues. It doesn't have to just be the one. The one. There's always another way to, um, and and sometimes it just happens. Life happens. And then he made cards, because he ended up flying Lear jets for generals. He would fly generals around, and his card said general delivery. And then his friend and him were looking at the flight schedules, and he noticed one of the um, admirals that was at the Naval Academy during that table board meeting, who was giving him a hard time. And he told his other pilot friend, let me have him. So they switched, and he was like, remember me, sir? And he did. He did. And he said, you did good for yourself. He and it's all right. And it wasn't about um it's just showing that we can always get over the obstacles and the hurdles no matter what. Okay. And that, I call it making lemonade out of lemons. So help them to find courage, help them to stay in a good attitude, the PMA. positive mental attitude, and that when it's really, really bad, let them know it's temporary and to work on their attitude. Because I'll say that almost always will be the results of what the outcome becomes. So we have faith. My son, he always had faith. I didn't have to pound it in him. He just had naturally. And we had no doubt who holds and supports um, our hearts and souls and opens multiple doors for us. So definitely stay well rounded, um, stay supportive, keep them motivated and dedicated. And also, there's always another avenue to work something out. Okay. So I hope this helps you. And I just felt like I had to pay it forward. Hope this helps. Take care. Bye. Good luck to you guys. And congratulations on your sons and daughters' achievements.